Srila Prabhupada. The moon is considered one of the planets of the heavenly kingdom. One can be promoted to this planet by executing different sacrifices recommended in the Vedic literature, such as pious activities in worshipping the demigods and forefathers with rigidity and vows. But one cannot remain there for a very long time. Life on the moon is said to last 10,000 years according to the calculation of the demigods. The demigods' time is calculated in such a way that one day, 12 hours, is equal to 6 months on this planet. It is not possible to reach the moon by any material vehicle like a Sputnik, but persons who are attracted by material enjoyment can go to the moon by pious activities. In spite of being promoted to the moon, however, one has to come back to this earth again when the merits of his work in sacrifice are finished. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Te tam bhuktva sargalokam swargalokam vishalam shine punya martyalokam vishanti. So, here in this verse is spoken by Lord Kapila, continuing with teachings of Lord Kapila, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his mother Devahuti. Many chapters on this, and this is one of the second last chapter. So in this chapter, Lord Kapila is instructing his mother Devahuti about entanglement in fruitive activities. How a living entity who has taken on this material body becomes entangled in this material world due to his engagement in fruitive activities. Actions for which we are desiring a fruit to enjoy for ourselves is a cause of entanglement in this material world. And that is about this chapter. So, this verse, he's talking about such materialistic persons. The verse is like this, such materialistic person. So, what kind of materialistic person? It's there in the previous verse. The person who lives in the center of household life derives material benefit by performing religious rituals, and thereby he fulfills his desire for economic development and sense gratification. And they are bereft of devotional service due to too much attachment for sense gratification. And they are not interested in Krishna consciousness. So basically it's talking about those, as in the previous purport, Prabhupada mentions Grihamedis. Grihamedis, their objective is sense gratification, whereas Grihasthas or devotees in Krishna consciousness, their aim is self-realization. So such materialistic person, in this verse, two symptoms are pointed out of these materialistic persons. How are these materialistic persons? How do we identify them as materialistic person? Two things. One is they are attracted by sense gratification. And the second is they are devoted to the forefathers and demigods. These are two symptoms of materialistic person. And they are attracted by sense gratification, although they think they are executing their dharma. Dharmam evava samgrihe. So they are using dharma. Here in the purport also Prabhupada is writing that they engage in pious activities as recommended in the Vedic literatures, but they are not interested in devotional service. So in the Bhagavatam also it is written, what should dharma be used as? People think you must perform your dharma, do your duty, and then if you're doing your duties, you can enjoy your senses because God has given us these senses for enjoyment. No. Yes, God has given us these senses for enjoyment in a different way, not in the way that we think that we should enjoy our senses by sense gratification. No. Dharma should never be used for material sense gratification. Dharmasya hi apavargasya. Dharmasya he means it should only be used for apavargasya. Apavargasya means for ultimate liberation. Pavargasya means bondage. Apavargasya means liberation. Nartho arthayopa kalpate. Nartho arthayopa kalpate means dharma. Nartho should never be used for artha, for material gain. Narthasya dharmekantasya. And it is again saying narthasya, you should never use it for material gain because dharma eka antasya. Dharma has got one anta, one ultimate goal. That is attaining, that is rendering devotional service to the Supreme God. And who's saying this? Smritaha, the intelligent people are saying this. Never use it for material gain. And then in the second verse, this is from the Bhagavatam, it is said, so what should we be doing in this life? Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant to inquire about the absolute truth. That is the goal of human life, and that inquiry is athato brahma jignasa. That is real dharma. But here, Kapila he's instructing that for those who are materialists, they use dharma, they are attracted by sense gratification, and they are devoted to forefathers and demigods. And all this obviously is due to lack of knowledge. They think that enjoying material senses is actually pleasure. It is not pleasure, it is actually an illusion. Not pleasure at all. How do we enjoy? What is real pleasure? Real pleasure, so we have these senses, and the senses, with senses we want pleasure, because without pleasure no one can stay. Our nature is to always seek happiness, seek pleasure, anandamayobhyasat. That's our pleasure. But pleasure can be attained only when we are serving the Supreme Lord, not otherwise. So we want to be happy without serving the Supreme Lord. That is our disease. That is why I said we are existing in a diseased condition. And we are thinking we are happy. Prabhupada gives a nice example. Like this finger. This finger's position, it is part and parcel of the body. So if this finger is fit, if it is healthy, it must serve my body. If this finger is not serving my body, that means it is in a diseased position. If it becomes diseased, imagine something happens here at the tip of my finger. Can it serve my body? If my finger wants to pick up something and eat, it cannot, because it's diseased. So if the finger is diseased, can the finger be happy? Disease means unhealthy. Unhealthy means he cannot be happy. So it can be happy only if it is fit. Fit means it is serving the body. In the same way, we are part and parcels of Krishna. And our position, being part and parcels of Krishna, is to serve God. Then we are healthy, then we can be happy. So here it is further, Prabhupada, in the previous verse, why we are unhappy is further mentioned. Kama moodaha paran mukhaha. So not serving means we are not serving Lord means paran mukhaha. Paran mukha means we have turned our face away from Krishna. Paran mukhaha. Why we have turned our face away from Krishna? Because kama mudhaha. Kama mudhaha means we infatuated. Mudha means we are absorbed in kama, absorbed in lust. Absorbed in lust means I want to enjoy. And because of this we have become paran mukha. So this is this word paran mukha appears in other place also, and there are two words. Bahirmukha means we have turned our face away from Krishna, and scriptures are directing us, instructing us how to turn our face towards Krishna. Unmukha, Bahirmukha and Unmukha. So Krishna Bahirmukha. Why we have become Krishna Bahirmukha? Krishna Bhuliya Shei Jeev Anadi Bahirmukha. Because we have forgotten Krishna, and therefore we have become Bahirmukha. Anadi Bahirmukha means from a time immemorial. We have turned our face away from Krishna. And because we have become Paran Mukha or Bahirmukha, what is our present state? Ateva Maya Tare De Samsara Dukha. Krishna Bhuliya Shei Jeev Anadi Bahirmukha Ateva Maya Tare De Samsara Dukha. That is why Maya is giving us the sufferings of this material world. So now how do we become from Bahirmukha, Krishna Bahirmukha, to Krishnonmukha? Turn our face towards Krishna. Sadhu Shastra Kripai Yadi Krishnonmukha Hoya. Sadhu Shastra Kripai. Just like we have this Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and Lord Kapila is instructing. So if we follow the instructions of Sadhu and Shastra, and then if we become Krishnonmukha, then what will be the result? Shei Jeev Nistare. That Jeev can become freed. Otherwise we are Baddha. Shei Jeev Nistare Maya Tahare Chadaya. And Maya will release that living entity from her fold, from her clutches. Otherwise, Krishna Bhuliya Jeev Bhoga Vancha Kare Nikatastha Maya Tare Japatiya Dhare. Maya has caught us. Japatiya means, if somebody catches you like this, it's very difficult to get freed. It has very tightly caught us. Maya has very tightly caught us. So it's not possible. In another place it is said, Krishna Bahirmukha Doshe Maya Hoite Bhaya. What happens when you are Krishna Bahirmukha? Krishna Bahirmukha Doshe. Doshe means if you have turned your face away from Krishna, that's a very big mistake we have done. Dosha. Krishna Bahirmukha Doshe. Maya Hoite Bhaya. And because of this, Maya is giving us constant fear. This is a symptom of a person existing in this material world who is in material consciousness. He is constantly in fear and anxiety. Why? Because of his one big fault, Krishna Bahirmukha Doshe. And then he said, then it is further says, Krishnonmukha Bhakti Hoite. Krishna Bahirmukha Doshe, and here it is Krishnonmukha Bhakti Hoite. But if he does bhakti, devotional service to Krishna, that means he's turned his face towards Krishna. Then Maya Muktahaya. There Maya Hoite Bhaya. Here Maya Muktahaya. Maya will release him from his control, from her control. So that was the first symptom, that a materialistic person is too attached to sense gratification. And the second thing that is mentioned here, they are very devoted to forefathers and demigods. And Prabhupada is writing in the purport that he writes about, on the life on the moon planet, and one cannot remain there for very long. Although life in the moon planet is said to last for 10,000 years, he has to return. So, worshipping the Devatas, Krishna clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita, who worships the Devatas? Kamais taistre hritagyanaha prapadyante anya devataha. Who surrenders to the devatas? Those kamestaste hrita jnanaha, those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires. Surrender to the devatas, because antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam. Alpamedasam, those who are less intelligent, they surrender to demigods. And why they are less intelligent? Because the result that the demigods will give is antavat. It is temporary. Whereas bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Alpamedasam and jnanavan. Those who are intelligent, they surrender to Krishna, because whatever Krishna will give, that is permanent. And anything that the demigods will give will be temporary. So going to the moon planet, according to this verse, this is saying they elevated to moon planet where they drink an extract of the soma plant. So these are called heavenly pleasures. And a living being, a living entity, because of lack of knowledge, he doesn't know that these heavenly pleasures means lot of sense gratification and a very long life, they are nothing when compared to the pleasure that this living entity is actually entitled for. How much pleasure we can be in, we have no idea, and therefore we take to these pleasures as all in all. Here it is said that life in the moon planet is supposed to last for 10,000 years according to calculation of demigods. Actually, even this is nothing. The life of Brahma is Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Aharyad Brahmano Viduhu. Brahma's one day, which is actually 12 hours, is supposed to live for Sahasra Yuga. Sahasra Yuga means 1000 Yuga. And that Yuga is Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kal Yug put together. Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kal Yug put together is 43 lakh years. And this 43 lakh years multiplied by 1000, whatever that figure is, this is half a day of Brahma. You can imagine. It's nothing compared to the moon. So this is what sometimes people get captivated with. But this is also nothing. This is also just a very, very short duration. If you explain and this is half a day of Brahma, and Brahma lives for 365 such days, which comprises his 1 year, and then he lives for 100 years. So Brahma's life is 43 lakh years multiplied by 1000, multiplied by 2, multiplied by 365, multiplied by 100. That is Brahma's life. And the pleasure that Brahma is enjoying is for this duration is another kind of an enjoyment, much, 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 million times greater than the pleasures and comforts of this material world. And Shastras are instructing us, Brahma bhuvana lokaha punaravartino Arjuna. Even if you go to the Brahma loka, you will again fall back in this material world. Mam upetyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. So we can just imagine what life will be in that spiritual world. Because Krishna is saying even Brahma loka is temporary and it is worth nothing. It is all material. So this gives us a hint about what life in the spiritual world could be or is. And we should be so excited and to go there. And so to go there, we must attain some qualification. If you have to go to, here Prabhupada is writing that it is not possible to reach the moon or any material planet or any material planet by a material vehicle like the Sputnik. But we can go to the moon by pious activities. But there is return from there also. So now you see, suppose you want to go to a country here, say America. It is rather difficult to go to, it is slightly more difficult to go to America and UK, those rich countries, very famous countries, advanced countries, than if you want to go to a country in Africa, right? It's easier to go. So you see, more better the place is, more the qualification required, right? In the material world. Similarly, now if you want to go to another planet, moon planet, you need much more qualification. What is that qualification required to go to a higher planet? You need that much punya karma, that much piety. And if you want to go to a planet even higher, then you need that much more qualification. In the same way, if you want to go to the topmost planet, the spiritual world, Goloka, then you need the highest qualification. And that highest qualification is unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. And we are so blessed that this, and highest qualification means it should be something that comes at a price and you have to struggle for it, you have to work for it. But we are so fortunate that in this Kali Yuga, that highest qualification can be obtained in such a simple way by engaging in devotional service to Krishna, and the first process is simply chanting the holy names of Krishna. If you simply, sincerely, with attention, seriously chant the holy names of Krishna, then it is possible to attain that highest qualification. Bhakti is the highest qualification, much more than piety, much more than tapasya, much more than anything else. If you are in Bhakti Yoga, you have, it's like, Yasmin Vijñate Sarvam Evam Vijñatam Bhavati. If you know Krishna, you know everything. And by Bhakti, you know Krishna. So Bhakti is the highest qualification. And if you have that, you can go back to the spiritual world. Now, somebody may say that, yes, Bhakti is highest. And in Kali Yuga, we are very blessed that, we can attain that Bhakti simply by chanting the holy names of Krishna. It has been made so simple. But actually, it's not so easy to chant the holy names of Krishna. Like Krishna says, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrataha. These are two very important qualifications. These are two very important instructions that Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita, how we should be engaged in our chanting. Yatantascha dridha vrataha. We have to be endeavoring. Yatan means endeavoring. Dridha vrataha. Dridha vrataha means with determination. We have to endeavor and determine and chant the holy name. And I cannot do that. Then is there any other way to go back to Krishna? Here, if you don't engage in bhakti, what will be the result? Punareshyati. The last two words of this verse. Punareshyati means you will come back to this material world. Now, Krishna is saying, he's giving us another he reveals one very important thing, how you can go back to Krishna. That is Mameshyati. This is Punareshyati, Mameshyati. So, Krishna is saying in the last verse of Bhagavad Gita, Yaidam Paramam Guhyam. This knowledge, Bhagavad Gita knowledge, Paramam Guhyam. It is not an ordinary knowledge, Paramam. It is the most secret, the best of the secret. Paramam Guhyam. Mad bhaktesha vidhasyati. That means if we are engaged in preaching to devotees, mad bhaktesha vidhasyati, bhaktim mai param kritva. Bhaktim mai, he will obtain that bhakti to me, which is the qualification needed. Bhaktim mai param. Param means that unalloyed devotional service. Param, in the best bhakti, best devotional service to me. Kritva, he will obtain. Mam eva eshyati asamshayah. Here it is said punareshyati. Here Krishna is saying mam eshyati. That if we are engaged in preaching this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others, then Krishna is not just saying mam eshyati, he is saying mam eva eshyati asamshaya. Look at the kind of assurance that Krishna is giving us. He's saying eva. Eva means only, surely, certainly. Eva has many meanings. Only, surely, certainly, he will come to me. And he's further saying, asamshayaha. There is no doubt about this. Prabhupada writes in that purport, for one who explains this supreme secret to devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and in the end he will come back to me. It's a very nice purport. I'll read this. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed amongst devotees only, because Krishna is writing here, Mad Bhakte Shobidhasyati, you should preach to his devotees. So generally it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed among the devotees only, because those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. Now Prabhupada writes, anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is. So although it is not meant to be spoken to devotees who do not believe in Gita, who do not believe in Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, now when you go and start preaching Bhagavad Gita, how do you know whether they are devotees or they will accept or not? So Prabhupada writes, but anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present the Bhagavad Gita as it is, will advance in devotional activities and will reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. So these are the concluding verses of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying, if you are sincere in your effort of preaching the Gita as it is, then bhaktim mai param kritva, you will attain pure devotion to Krishna and you will go back to Godhead. So Prabhupada, we know how he gave his whole life for preaching. He would rise early, midnight, 12 o'clock in the night, and he would write books, 70 volumes of books. He is the author of 70 volumes in just 10 short years. From 12 in the midnight till about 4 a.m., he would spend time translating his books, just so that we have these books available with us to preach. And Prabhupada was not only translating the books, of course, translating the book itself was a big preaching that he was doing, that it was preaching, but he himself was preaching so much. He never missed a preaching opportunity. You know, once we heard a story of Prabhupada where, Prabhupada would go on traveling in all over the world. He circled the globe 14 times in just 10 short years, opened 108 temples. So Prabhupada would hardly stay for about 3 to 5 days in one place. But sometimes, if you have seen in some places, he has stayed much longer, for a month or so. And how was that? It was because devotees would fix appointments of important people to meet Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada would see that devotees have arranged for such appointments wherein he had an opportunity to spend time, preach, Prabhupada would stay on longer. And after a few years, the devotees figured out that if you want Prabhupada to stay in your center for longer time than 3 days, then you have to arrange a lot of appointments for Prabhupada. If you have a lot of distinguished guests and important people line up for Prabhupada to meet him every day, then Prabhupada will stay longer. So Prabhupada never missed a preaching opportunity. You know that once Prabhupada had an opportunity, he was in Mayapur, and there in Mayapur he was called by one of the local pujaris, of some Vaishnava temple, and they were conducting a Pandal program, and then he was called. And this was in 1977. And Prabhupada was extremely weak at that time. So weak, so weak. This was just towards those last months of 1977. And this local pujari comes and invites Prabhupada for a program. And Prabhupada accepts. He agrees to come for this preaching program. And this devotee who's recollecting this story, I think it was Hari Shauri Prabhu, he tells Prabhupada, no, Prabhupada, your health is not good. You can't go for this preaching program. And then Prabhupada explains to him, no, I must go. He has invited me. How can I refuse? And then this devotee says, but Prabhupada, there are so many sannyasis of yours. You have trained them. Those sannyasis can go and attend this program. But Prabhupada says, no, he wanted me to come. So if I don't go, he will not be happy. So I must go. And then Prabhupada, this devotee is trying to argue with him, and Prabhupada is not listening. And then this devotee says something, and then Prabhupada gives him an example. Prabhupada said that when he's saying, no, it's our duty to take care of you. You should not go for preaching. You are sick right now. Your health is not good. So it's our duty to take care of you. So Prabhupada said, just like in the story in the Krishna book about Pradyumna, when Pradyumna was fighting, he was injured on the battlefield. And then he was taken away by his charioteer. He was taken away. But then Pradyumna immediately went back to fight, even though he was injured. That was his duty. So this devotee, he quickly says, but Prabhupada, it was the charioteer's duty to take him off the battlefield when he was sick. He's trying to prove his point. It's our duty to not allow you to go, just like the charioteer took him. But immediately Prabhupada added, yes, it was the charioteer's duty to take him, and it was Pradyumna's duty to immediately return and fight again. So he says, Prabhupada defeated me like this. So it was his determination, and then they did the whole program. Prabhupada actually wanted to do the program, go himself, because he wanted to encourage the pujari. And then he recalls how Prabhupada goes. It was so difficult. His health was so failing, and he actually collapsed while he was going up. But this devotee held him, and when he was climbing those small steps, and then when Prabhupada just reached the main platform, he just walked and sat on his chair as if nothing had happened. And he sat there and he gave a talk, and it was a very successful program. So we have a great Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. We just have to follow his footsteps, engage our energy in preaching, in rendering devotional service, and just by doing this, Krishna is assuring us, Krishna is guaranteeing us that we will go back to Godhead. We'll end here. Rantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.